Okay, thank you so much, Dolly, and thank you for staying there. We're still on your show, the family show, and the program for everyone is today with John and Helen live from Plus TV Africa. We're moving on now, John, and it's that time where we meet the transformation facilitator and strategy consultant who will be helping us to look at unlocking authentic creativity in children and adults. And we're talking about our next guest.
Oh yes, and she's here and ready to go. She is Chizoba Akunne, a children's minister, professional social worker, journey therapist, and coach. Our guest is founder NEC Topple, a capacity development organization set up to provide solutions in the areas of growth, productivity, and creativity of professionals and entrepreneurs. As also a facilitator, a coach and facilitator, Chizoba Akunne has distinguished herself as one of the most renowned therapists and entrepreneurship speakers in the country today. Let's turn our attention to her now, Chizoba Akunne. And we have loads of answers. With that CV, we guarantee you loads of questions. Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. It's an amazing time having to come to sit with you and then to have this conversation. Yes. And thank you so much for pronouncing my name very well.
Akunne.
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 Akunne. Like when he was pronouncing it, I just turned and I was like, okay.
Akunne. All right. Once again, it's a pleasure to have you join us in the studio. Now, could you please elaborate on the concept of unlocking authentic creativity in both children and adults, and how does it differ from conventional approaches to creativity development?
Okay, first of all, I believe that there is a child in every child that must be preserved to reach their authentic creativity.
A child in every child.
Yes, and there is a child in every adult that must be helped to get to that same authentic creativity. But what happens is that during childhood, for a lot of us, we had different things that paused our creativity, right? And some of the things were unknowing. Simple things like always saying no, simple things like going through trauma in childhood, either because of neglect wounds or some of the wounds that can happen during childhood. And so what happens is that there is that tendency to want to conform to what you feel everyone will be most comfortable with. And the moment you begin to conform, because the truth of the matter is a photocopy would always be a photocopy. The best you can always be is a clearer photocopy, right? And so basically what I am trying to do in my own little corner is ensure that as a child, we start early to work with you, so that you can achieve purpose early, whatever it is, whatever purpose is to you. And you have to be comfortable in that space. And as an adult, finding out at what point did I experience a pause in my life. So we journey back to your past, get to that point, heal you of those hurts and traumas, and then we can begin to plan your future going on from there. So it doesn't have to be, because a lot of people will say, is it only as a professional? Is it only as a this? Or I always say, even if you are a stay-at-home mom, if that's what you desire to be, right, you could be the best version of that. So basically, you're going to be the best version of yourself, not the best version of someone else. And I feel if we have more of this, there will be limited competition in the society, and there will be more innovations, because if two people are selling the same thing, you bring your own flavor into it, you bring your innovation into it, you bring your personality into it, and you find out that you get to your own niche of customers, and then you collaborate and not compete.
Okay, so if I get you right, what you're suggesting or what you're saying is that at some point there may be a disconnect,
yes,
or we may lose our
authentic self,
our authentic childhood.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I want to know now is that how do you then, or how do we now identify and nurture the creative potential in children, especially considering the diverse ways in which creativity manifests itself in individuals? We're taking a lot,
yes,
and that's how we grow our minds, our creativity. So how do we nurture it?
Okay, so I'll first of all, thank you for that question. I'll first of all say that as parents, as caregivers, as uncles, aunties, as long as you have a child within your space, allow the child to thrive. Allow the child to experience life.
Explore.
Allow the child to be a child. And let the child explore. And you discover that the child maybe starts by trying to, put copper wires together. Leave the child. Don't start by saying this child is an engineer. Allow the child. Tomorrow the child jumps. It is baking. Allow the child. Do you know that by the time you're looking at this child, you will see a common thread?
Okay.
That common thread may be that entrepreneurship thread of innovation. It could be a common thread of helping people, and that would maybe lead the child into the counseling or the therapy space or even the HR space. So just allow the child. Don't begin to say, this child, I've given birth to you. You must be a doctor. You must be an engineer. Oh, I am seeing the way she's talking. Yes. It's law. No.
And I thank my parents for that, because they discovered at a very early age that I like talking, speaking.
Yeah.
And I find that that's what I love up till now.
So did you study law?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I'm actually a speech coach.
He's speaking every day.
I talk every day.
The man talks too much, actually.
No, but that's because they allowed you to speak.
They allowed me
but
to speak.
For most parents, what they would do is, oh, you're talking too much. You're
much.
giving me a headache. You're talking too much. Oh, please, could you just zip it? Could you just move? In fact, you know what? Just go to your room, please. I'm tired.
Yes.
That's what most people would do. But I always say, if a child is talking, allow the child to talk. Because when the child is talking, you're able to understand, number one, what is in the mind of the child. You're able to understand the child's outlook. Because you see, children that are quiet. When I am when I have to work with them, I find out that it's like, how you get a bucket, you throw it into a well, and then maybe a deep well, and then you start pulling the water out, because you have to really put in much effort to get them to speak, to understand. Okay, what is it about this child?
Yes.
Unlike a child who is speaking. And whether your child is speaking, whether your child is quiet, whether your child speaks quiet, whatever, there is a flavor every child carries. And one of the things I always say is, don't have favorites.
Okay.
Because there's something this child can do that this child cannot do.
And the other child has something.
And the other child has something that the child can do that this other child can't do. But when you harness them, because when we understand that, when we allow children be, when we allow them to express themselves and get their authentic self and begin to work and manifest that, you find out that, number one, it first of all even benefits you as a parent. Because number one, you have peace. I think that's the biggest one. You have peace of mind. You're not stressing yourself. Number two, you find out that the quality of conversations, and then you find out that the transitioning of your relationship with them is actually beautiful.
Wow.
And then not talk about their contributions to the community. Your child is going and saying, oh, hello, mom, these are the plans for this week. What do you think about this? Do you think I should make this decision? This is what, the trajectory of your relationship has moved from just nurturing to now being an advisor, being a guide. And you're also going through that process of rediscovering yourself. Because self-discovery, as I always say, is a daily occurrence. It's something that happens. The only people that really stop discovering themselves is when you're in the grave, or
I'm really feeling your passion.
You've never even started that journey at all.
You see, the good thing about talking with people like this is they're just sharing, they're just pouring out themselves, because this is the life
that is you.
Every minute, every second.
I can feel it.
You wake, you're waking up from sleep. From the moment you
stepped in.
Yeah. The warmth and all of that. So in your experience, kindly let us into some of the common barriers that you have found to hinder adults from tapping into their innate creativity, and how can these barriers be overcome?
Okay, so I'll first of all say that one of them is childhood hurts and traumas. That's one of the ways that they are prevented. Either they suffered, there are different wounds you can suffer as a child. Either because your parents didn't care for you, they didn't love you, So that's one of the
Or they
reasons.
overcared and overloved.
Overcared and overloved, and they were helicopter parents, right? So, so yeah, that's one of the reasons. Another reason could be that you're afraid of stepping out. So you could come from a family where you are loved, you are supported, but then you're feeling that, okay, I'm afraid to step out. I'm afraid to do this. Nobody has really done this. Okay, let me even go and check the internet. You know, when I discovered that my own branch of therapy was journey therapy, it was even in a funny way. I was, you know, just meditating, and I was just like, this therapy I'm doing, what is the name of this thing? And it just occurred to me, journey therapy. I was like, journey therapy, I've never heard that one before.
What does that mean?
So I had to, exactly, so I had to go to the internet to say, what is even this journey therapy? And then I found out that, oh, it's something that they practiced in the East. Okay. But it's coming back. You know, life is in circles, right? Okay. So it's something that is coming back. So yes, it has a bit of esoteric psychology. It has a bit of self-discovery. It has a bit of emotional intelligence. It has a bit of inner child healing. So it's just a component of all of them. So, you know, there's just a tendency to say, nobody is doing this thing around. If I start now, we church people not say that there's something wrong with me. You understand? But even if, so you have to let go of that fear. Yeah. And step in. Just do it. See, it's better you do it and then you fail. When you fail, you know that, okay, this is the wrong way to do it. And you will learn from. And then you now do it. Another thing is that even that fear of failure is one of the reasons why people have not been able to do that. Because they just had one or two no's, one or two failures. And it's amazing. So that's why I always tell people, what do you do with your phone? What are you watching when you go online? You're subscribing, you're getting data. This data must not waste now. It's not just to laugh, right? There are other things we can do. And, you know, it's amazing because when you begin to listen to other people who are sharing their experiences, and when I say sharing their experiences, they are telling you, I started from here, and this was the projection, and this was the projection, not the ones that you just say, I approve. No. The ones that can share, you know, their story. You find out that they had rejections, but they were able to overcome that rejection. And another thing is this. And so there's actually another thing, which is so much noise. A lot of people, they don't stay quiet. They are afraid of quietness. They are afraid to hear themselves speak. You see, when I was growing up, I know that there was a time when I enjoyed quietness, and then I would suddenly stand up and I'll say, wait, am I on earth? How do I know I'm on earth? You know, and I pinch myself to say, okay, I'm on earth. I'm on earth. I'm still here. You know, and I walk around and I'm looking, and this could be in the night, and I'm saying, okay, so you mean I'm here? So what exactly am I even doing here? Like these things I was doing was like 8, 9, 10. As young as that. I'm telling you, as young as then. And so my parents always had this, they were always bothered that, oh, she has insomnia. She didn't have insomnia because she had slept a bit. And then maybe when they woke up, they saw me awake.
You're sleepwalking.
and you know, they went to sleep and I was awake. And then I'm just walking around. And then I sit down and then I begin to think. See, when you begin to think, when you enjoy your own company, the truth is, yes, first of all, it's scary, but then you begin to ask yourself questions. What do I want to be remembered for? Do I just want to come to this earth, you know, just get married, have children? Because the truth is, if you don't find yourself, the quality of children you would have, the quality of spouse you would attract would not really would just be me, myself, and my family. It won't extend to the community. It won't extend globally. And just think about if everybody has sat on their horse and refused to discover themselves. So whatever is limiting you, I always say that, first of all, you as an individual, you know a bit of it. And maybe you've decided not to explore it. And so when you discover, okay, I've discovered that maybe this is the reason why I have not started on this journey, then the next thing I'll say is, okay, get somebody to work with. Maybe start with brainstorming with your friends. Look for people that you trust, people that you know that they wouldn't pull you down. Even if they don't understand what you're saying, they would say, okay, how can we help you? Let's listen to you. And then I'll also say, go and work with a therapist. If you find out that whatever has caused that pause in your life was as a result of wounds in your childhood or wounds in your adulthood, whatever it is.
So self-discovery. You
so
emphasize that you have to find yourself.
You have to find yourself. You have to, and even when you found yourself, you have to rediscover yourself, because you find out that so many artists, so many people that are, creative, the creative people that we can see that they're in the creative industry, you find out that when they discover themselves, maybe it's those songs that they discover themselves. Those are the songs that are still chatting. And every time you call them, they are still singing that song, right? And so that's why the process of rediscovering yourself. And there is a depth you get to in self-discovery that you've walked, you've gone through the journey, and you're like, okay, should I go this far, or should I just pause and just turn back?
Would that be the same thing as mindfulness?
Mindfulness is your ability to understand and experience everything that is going on around you, which is like smelling the coffee.
That's self-discovery.
Yes, you have to have discovered yourself for you to be mindful. If not, you just go through the motion. So mindfulness comes as a result of you've discovered yourself, and then you've decided I'm going to enjoy every experience. Like I was coming today, I enjoyed my experience.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't perturbed. My mind was not flying and all, because I was enjoying it. But when you're not mindful, what happens is you're always in a rush. And so there is that quietness in you. You do not get to enjoy it. And then you don't even have the opportunity to have lasting relationships, because your relationships basically will be on a come and go level. And so you don't have deep lasting relationships, and you can't really go as far as you would have hoped that you would. And so we don't have regrets when we are older.
Awesome. All right. We should be rounding up this show in the next 4 or 5 minutes. And we're looking at solutions here. You are a transformation therapist, and we're looking at unlocking authentic creativity in children and adults. Take us to the place of solution now, with all that is going around. How do we unlock authentic creativity, to be able to flow and make progress in the Nigeria of today, both for the young ones and for adults? As a parting shot.
Wow. Okay, so number one, ask yourself, what do I want? How to know what you want is know what you don't want. So make a list of what you don't want, and then you will find out what you want. Then the next thing to ask yourself is, if everything was okay, if the whole economy was wonderful, if I had a wonderful family, if everybody was wonderful, how do I think I'll be able to get this thing? Yes. Now, what are the steps I'm going to do to get this? Now, it's going to involve a lot of introspection. It's going to involve a lot of quietness. It's going to involve a lot of willing to do the work. And I always say, it doesn't matter if you're 50, it doesn't matter if you're 60. For goodness sake, life is just beginning. And don't allow anybody put you on the shelf, right? And so ask yourself, what do I want? And what is this first step I can take? See, do the baby steps. I always tell people, if you put snails in a bucket, at least they say snails are very slow, right? Keep the snails there. Go and come back after 4 hours. The likelihood that you will even find that snail there is very difficult, right? Yeah. So allow yourself, even if you're moving at a slow pace, do one thing every day that moves you closer to your goal. Number two, avoid crabs. If I put crabs in a bowl and I leave and come back after 24 hours, the likelihood that I'll meet them there is still there. You know why?
Oh, the crabs don't move.
Oh, even if you're trying to move, they will bring you down.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
When you're trying to move,
wow,
the other crabs will bring you down.
Bring you down.
Yes, and so that's talking about.
I haven't noticed that.
So
okay.
You can. That's why if you notice when they sell crabs, they don't cover it. What are you covering?
So the community of crabs, there's a lot of competition, and
not competition. There's a lot of stay where we are. Where are you going to? Where are you going to? So if you have those kind of people around you, I would say number one, have boundaries. Okay. Have boundaries, because when you go and share, and that's why I always say it's very important to know who you're sharing your plans and your goals and your aspirations with.
Okay.
So share with people that would not pull you down as a crab.
Yeah.
And no matter how your steps are slow, like the snail,
Just keep going.
going.
Oh, Lord.
I've learned a new one there.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Chizoba.
Yes.
You know, we have a Chizobam on this set with us every week. Yeah, so I have to pinch myself to see there's no M in this one.
Yes,
Yes.
so
This
this
is
one is mother's
Thank you,
wealth.
thank you, thank you. Mother's wealth. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you for
We have
really,
benefited.
It's really good, you know, interesting to have you on this show. And I mean, I love, like I said earlier, I love the passion that you've brought on.
A lot of
onto all
vibe.
You really must be having fun too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, when you're helping people live, you also must, you know, have a lot of fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. All right, so transformation and practical strategies to unlocking creativity they are all targeted towards better results, overall development, growth, productivity, and success. And that's what we wish for you.
And really, I took notes there, like I was in the lecture theater. Well done, and thanks for your time. Wow, how time flies when you're reaching out, you know, for greater heights. It's been a lot of positives for me, and I'm sure that so many of our viewers too have benefited immensely too. Yeah.
Okay, so John, what's left for this show is your nuggets.
Yes, I'll
And
take my nugget.
we'll invite you to sit down
You sit.
and taste
I'd like
a bit
you to
of,
sit.
of,
I'd
of
like
John's.
you to sit because it's like you spied on my nugget for this week. You know, there
let's have your
was
nugget.
something you said, you know, just so at the tail end of that product,
Okay.
of that program. So my nugget today is this: don't spend your time thinking of what you don't want. Focus
Wow.
more on what
you
you
want. Okay.
So I'm sure you said something
Like that.
like that. So thinking of what you don't want could be quite a distraction, you know, especially when you're focused on delivering a speech to your audience. Most times we don't want anything to go wrong, and there is indeed a myriad of things that could go wrong at the venue, with the mic, with the audience, and with you. So you know what? These are all what ifs. So what if these what ifs don't happen? You'd have lost focus, lost concentration, and in fact lost direction, all because you focused on the wrong things. So the message today is stay focused, don't worry, be happy anytime you go out and face the audience.
You know, at the beginning you said if anybody in this nation at this point in time or in this world it's smiling and, you know, making efforts to be happy, that person is a hero. You know, and we congratulate such a person.
She's our hero today.
And you are our hero today on the show because you have kept faith, because you've kept us company from beginning to the end of the program. And we say a big thank you. We will be here again, same time next week, Saturday. Before that time, in case they miss this outing.
Yes, there'll be a repeat program Saturday night at 10:30 on PlusTvAfrica,
408.
DSTV
408.
and Star Times 308. And again on Sunday mornings, 9:30, 308 Star Times, 408 DSTV. Join us.
You can do it. Be the best that you can. Bye for now. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching.
I'm out.